from Brett. Are you in favor of the death penalty? Why or why not? I think I've answered this before, but it's all right. I am not in favor of the death penalty as it presently stands. To convict a man of a capital crime and then put him in prison for 20 years or even 6 years or 10 years and then execute a man who is no longer the man who committed the crime is, to me, intolerable. The idea that you can walk down the last mile 5 times in the course of 10, 20 years and be pardoned at the last minute, that's cruel and unusual punishment. Just the very idea that you have to wait 20 years to find out what happens with this thing over your head. I know that the guys who are, most of the people on death row have committed intolerable crimes. Still, we have to be better than they are, and keeping them there for 20 years is absurd. It's also absurd to the victims, by the way. They need closure. They shouldn't have to string out this experience. I have suggested a number of times, and I've run it by a couple of lawyers now, and they all say it's constitutional. I have suggested that if we are going to have capital crimes, there should be a special commission for capital crimes, maybe 3 people who are dedicated for 365 days to finding any exculpatory evidence they can, any evidence that gets the guy off the hook. And if after a year they can't do that with DNA and all this stuff, if they're just dedicated to that one case, if they can't prove this guy's innocent, on the 366th day, you carry out the sentence. That, to me, would be not cruel and unusual. I do think that there are certain kinds of murders, certain kinds of crimes that deserve the death penalty, and where only the death penalty can knit the fabric that is torn by those crimes. And so that's where I stand as it is. I just think it's a mess, and I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right. I'd rather have no death penalty and have life imprisonment than just drag people for 20 years and then execute them 20 years later when they're half insane with waiting. It's just not right. It's not the way the state should behave. It's not the way we should behave.